Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we re-diving into a mystery that's as strange as it is intriguing. The phenomenon of doors that lead absolutely nowhere. Imagine walking down a hallway or looking up at the side of a building and seeing a perfectly normal door complete with a handle and a frame. You reach for it, turn the knob, pull it open, and you're met with a solid brick wall. Or even worse, a terrifying drop from several stories high. These aren't just glitches in a video game. They exist all over our world. They're called null doors, dummy doors, or simply nowhere doors. And they beg the question, why? Why would anyone go to the trouble of building a door that has no purpose? Is it a mistake, a forgotten plan, or something far more mysterious? Join me as we unlock the secrets behind these architectural oddities. Let's start with one of the most famous examples, which you might have even seen without realizing its strange secret. In Winchester, Virginia, stands the magnificent Winchester Mystery House. This sprawling mansion is an architectural labyrinth, built by Sarah Winchester, the heiress to the Winchester rifle fortune. The house is famous for its bizarre design choices: staircases that ascend into ceilings, windows that look into other rooms, and of course doors that open onto solid walls or dangerous drops. One door on the second floor famously opens outward to a sheer drop to the garden below. According to legend, Sarah Winchester believed she was haunted by the spirits of those killed by her family's rifles. She kept the construction of her home going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 38 years, creating a maze to confuse these vengeful spirits. The doors to nowhere were supposedly part of this spiritual defense system, a way to trick ghosts into stepping through and being banished from the house. While it's a spooky and compelling story, historians suggest a more practical, albeit still chaotic, explanation. Sarah was an amateur architect, and the house was under constant, unplanned renovation. These strange features are likely the result of rooms being altered, sealed off, or relocated, leaving behind architectural remnants of what once was. A doorway that used to lead to a balcony might have been rendered useless when that balcony was enclosed to become a new room. But not all nowhere doors are born from such eccentric circumstances. Many have far more practical and mundane origins, often rooted in historical construction practices. Let's travel back in time, to an era before modern trucks and cranes. If you look at old warehouses and multi-story merchant buildings in cities like Amsterdam or New York, you'll often see a door high up on the facade, with a pulley beam sticking out above it. These are called loading doors or hoist doors. Back in the day, this was the most efficient way to get heavy goods, like sacks of flour, barrels of goods, or furniture, to the upper floors. Items would be lifted by a rope and pulley system and swung directly into the building through this high-up door. As technology evolved and internal elevators became the norm, these loading doors were no longer needed. Instead of going through the expensive process of bricking them up and ruining the building's original facade, owners often just sealed them from the inside, leaving the exterior door as a silent testament to a bygone era of commerce. So, the next time you see one, you're not looking at a mistake, but a piece of industrial history. Another common reason for these baffling doors is simply abandoned plans and shifting blueprints. Construction is a fluid process. A building might be designed with a grand balcony, an external staircase, or a connecting bridge to an adjacent structure. The door is installed early in the process, but then, for any number of reasons, budget cuts, changes in zoning laws, or the client simply changing their mind, the connecting feature is never built. The result? A perfectly good door, standing ready for a balcony that will never exist. It is often cheaper and easier to just leave the door in place and seal it from the interior than to tear it out and rebuild the wall. It becomes a kind of architectural scar, a fossil of a design that never came to be. Think of it as a permanent "coming soon" sign that has long since been forgotten. You can find these phantom doors on apartment buildings, office complexes, and even residential homes, each one telling a silent story of a plan that was left on the drawing board. Sometimes, though, the explanation is all about aesthetics and symmetry. In classical and neoclassical architecture, balance is everything. Architects would go to great lengths to ensure a building's facade was perfectly symmetrical. If a real functional door was needed on one side of a building, They would often add a dummy door on the opposite side to maintain that visual harmony. This fake door would be identical to its functional counterpart from the outside. Same materials, same frame, same hardware. But it was purely for show. It couldn't be opened and was built into a solid wall. This was particularly common in grand stately homes and public buildings where appearances were paramount. It was a way of tricking the eye into seeing perfection and order. So, in these cases, the door to nowhere isn't a mistake or a remnant of the past. It's a deliberate artistic choice, a piece of architectural illusion designed to create a sense of balance and grandeur. Beyond the historical and practical, let's not forget the simplest reason of all: human error. It happens more often than you might think. A misreading of the blueprints, a communication breakdown between the architect and the construction crew, or just a simple, honest mistake can lead to a door being installed in the wrong place. By the time the error is discovered, it might be too costly or time-consuming to fix, especially if the wall has already been finished. So the door is simply locked, sealed, and left as an embarrassing and often amusing reminder that nobody is perfect. There are countless stories from construction workers about finding doors leading into elevator shafts or directly into plumbing stacks, all because of a simple measurement error. So, the next time you encounter one of these mysterious doors that lead to nowhere, take a moment to think about its story. Is it a ghost trap in a haunted mansion? A relic of an old industrial age? A phantom limb of a long-abandoned architectural plan? A trick of the eye meant to create perfect symmetry? Or just a simple, funny mistake? Each one is a puzzle embedded in our everyday environment, a silent narrative written in brick and wood. They remind us that the world around us is layered with history, with forgotten intentions and changed minds. They are not just empty openings. They are portals into the past, into the very process of how our world is built, unbuilt, and rebuilt over time. What are some of the strangest nowhere doors you've ever seen? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and see your pictures. Thanks so much for joining me on this architectural adventure today. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more mysteries hidden in plain sight, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. In a quiet old town at the end of a forgotten alley, there's a door that leads absolutely nowhere. It's built into a brick wall surrounded by nothing. No house, no building, no explanation. Yet people swear they've heard knocking from the other side. Today, we're diving into the mystery of the door that leads nowhere. The story begins in 1973, when a construction crew was clearing an abandoned lot near the outskirts of town. While removing debris, they stumbled upon a perfectly intact wooden door, built right into a freestanding wall. It had a handle, a lock, and even hinges. But when they opened it, there was nothing. Just a solid wall behind it. At first, they thought it was some kind of artistic prank, but over time, strange things started to happen. Residents nearby began reporting unusual sounds at night, whispering, footsteps, even the faint sound of someone breathing on the other side. No matter the hour when anyone got close, silence. A man named Harold Turner, who lived just down the street, claimed he saw the door open by itself. He described a cold blue light shining from within and the faint shadow of a figure standing behind it. But when he approached, it slammed shut with a thunderous echo that shattered a nearby window. Police investigated several times, but each report ended the same way. No evidence found. Still, the door remained. Over the years, many theories emerged. Some say it's part of an unfinished building project from the 1800s. Others that it was a ritual site for a secret society. One legend tells of a craftsman who built doors for a wealthy family. When they refused to pay him, he cursed one of his creations, a doorway that would never lead to a home, only to emptiness. But there's another, more chilling version, that the door is a threshold between dimensions, and once every few decades, it connects, offering a brief passage to somewhere else. Somewhere that humans were never meant to see. In 2011, a team of paranormal investigators revisited the site. They set up motion sensors, night vision cameras, and thermal scanners. Around 2:47 a.m., one of the cameras captured something inexplicable. a faint outline of a hand pressing from the inside of the wall. The temperature dropped to nearly freezing. Moments later, their equipment malfunctioned, and one of the team members collapsed after claiming he heard a voice calling his name from the other side. The footage was never released publicly. Only a short audio clip remains, a distorted whisper that seems to say, "Donna T, open it." And then, as suddenly as it appeared, the door was gone. In 2015, locals woke up to find the wall completely sealed with new bricks, perfectly matching the old ones. No seams, no markings, no sign a door was ever there. But those who lived nearby say they still hear the knocking, late at night, coming from inside the wall, whether it was an unfinished project, a dimensional rift, or something beyond our understanding. The mystery of the door that leads nowhere remains unsolved, and maybe that's for the best. Because if a door truly leads nowhere, what happens when someone finally decides to step through? Some doors are better left closed. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy mysteries like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.